Additionally, the API manager also provides the option to accept the query string, and based on that query string, the client can decide which API he would like to use. And this can be enabled in the API manager settings. And there's a query string routing options. And with that, every API gets an additional field which is called query string routing. And let's suppose that I would like to have, in additional to the primary version 1 exposed on this path, an additional version 1.1, which is then selectable for clients sending a query string 1.1. And for that, I have configured the following configuration, which is the same exposure path as before, which is also in state published maybe, and the version should be indicated as to be 1.1, and this is the import difference, saying this should be the routing key 1.1, and with that, the API manager is routing requests in a different way. It takes the input path in combination with the API routing key, and then it forwards the request to that registered backend path. So 8080 instead of the primary one, which goes on 8081 as an example. So let's register that API and say that should be the 4.1. So now a new API has been registered, and I can now inspect that API and go to the front end and say, have a look into that, which now contains the routing key 1.1. And it goes to different backend base paths. This goes on 8080, while the primary, the main version, still goes on 8081 as an example, a different implementation. Of course, it could also be the same service provider in the backend. I made that to demonstrate the difference. So let's say when calling that API without any routing key, then 8081 is responding. Whether, yeah, I made a mistake. Send. So this is now the version 1, the primary one. And now a client can say, I would like to have 1.1 as an example. And then let's say another implementation is saying me, this is just a mock. This is only to demonstrate another backend service is responding. Okay, with that, the demo concludes.